These Ubisoft games are really starting to blur together. When I first played The Division, I couldn't help but think that it was incredibly similar to Watch Dogs, just the way it looked, the way the guns worked, the way you moved around, and that was a game that came out a whole 2 years prior. And now we have Recon Wildlands, which looks almost identical to The Division, except in the heat instead of the cold. So let's break down some of the similarities between the two games so we can figure out why Wildlands gives off such a Division vibe. First off, the games have a very similar style, especially with the character models. Take away the color scheme and the winter clothes, and the characters are basically interchangeable. Did you even notice that this guy's not even from The Division? He's from Ghost Recon. Get out of here. On that note, many of the animations are very similar, like the running animation and the reloading animation. Obviously, the reloading animation is slightly adjusted depending on the gun you're using. The camera in Wildlands seems to be a little bit closer, but it's still the same over-the-shoulder angle we see in a lot of recent games. Weapon switching seems to be the same too. You have a primary and a secondary weapon, and you have a sidearm like a pistol. You switch between your primary and secondary by pressing Y or a triangle, and you switch to the pistol by holding down the button. I wasn't the biggest fan of this in The Division. I always ended up switching weapons a few times before actually pulling the pistol out. And in a game like Call of Duty, pulling out your pistol is quicker than reloading. Having to hold down the triangle button adds an unnecessary delay. And of course, in both these games, you hold down the action button to interact with things in the environment. The shooting mechanics also feel very similar. There are some minor differences though. In The Division, holding down left trigger on most weapons will just zoom in a little bit closer. In Wildlands, holding down left trigger will snap you into a first-person's view. Also, Wildlands doesn't have a level system for the enemies, so if you shoot one in the damn head, it will actually die. No bullet sponges, although it seems like there will be heavy enemies, just like there were in The Division and Watch Dogs. Oh, and there's vehicles. Obviously, that's like the main draw to this game. It's like why they made it. And I'm sure there's dogs. I mean, Watch Dogs 2 has dogs, so why not just throw them in Wildlands? What do you guys think about the similarities and differences between Wildlands and The Division? And, you know what? Watch Dogs while you're at it. All of these Ubisoft games. Did I leave anything out? Leave it in the comments below. I'm me on Twitter. All of this other social media garbage. I, for one, am sick of this copy and paste formula, but who am I kidding? I'm going to end up with the game anyway. New videos every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday night is Wulff Den Live. I will see you there for the podcast every single week. And thank you guys very much, and have a good week. The Division is very much an RPG, even more so than Destiny. I am not an RPG person, but I have to say, Destiny gave me a newfound appreciation for the genre. Year 1 Destiny is much less of an RPG than Year 2 Destiny, with a million quests and hundreds of ways to get new weapons. Just played Trials of the Blood Dragon and Ghost Recon. Trials was awesome. Nice 80s soundtrack, just like you'd expect from Blood Dragon. It's good. It's a good type of ridiculous. Ghost Recon, just like I expected, feels exactly like The Division. Except, you know, it's single player, so